All right. So, guys, I really appreciate you guys being here tonight for my presentation here. That's actually a training program. I really appreciate your time. Firmin Koyaweda, Dili Diko, and two other colleagues who could not make it. My title here is Evidence-Based Program Development. That's actually in develop phase, with the titles Fostering a Strong Team Identity, Enhancing Collaboration in Remotes. Let me do it here. Okay, what did I do? I think I did some malfunction here. I apologize. I'm gonna try to do this way. That's the technology problem. All right, I think I'm just gonna do it that way. So anyway, the objective of this training is aims to provide participants that you guys are with a comprehensive understanding of social identity theory, and equip with you guys with practical strategies to foster a strong team identity and enhance collaboration in remote team settings. That's the idea, because as you guys remember, we did a survey that we discussed with the four of us when we met the first time about the challengings and things that we go through during the remote, during the pandemic. So my outline here is, first, again, I wanted to welcome you to this training program. My name, as you guys know, is Roger Muntu, and I will be your facilitator for this session. I'm excited really to have you today as we delve into talking about into social identity theory and explore practical strategies to strengthen your remote team collaboration. Before we begin, let's take a moment to introduce ourselves. So please, if you be kind to just share your name, your role, your team, and one thing you hope to learn from this or achieve from this training program. As you can tell, I value inputs and diverse experiences that you guys have. So let's create that environment. Let's feel free to introduce yourself, either in the chat box or you want to speak. Dili, we're going to start with you.
Okay, so my name is Dili Diko. I'm a journalist, and what I expect from this course is to learn 3 different ways to foster more like a collective identity and stronger social identity in a group, particularly in work settings.
Wow, that's really interesting. Really interesting. Firmin, you want to introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay, thank you, Roger. My name is actually Firmin Koyaweda, and I'm a broadcaster, also a producer, work for the Voice of America in Washington, D.C. I'm just, expecting to learn new stuff about the topic we are put tonight. So it's a big pleasure for me to be here.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So let's move on to the overview of what the training that we are going to do, managing remote teams, as you can see also on that image. And this is what we have briefly talked when we met the first time. After we introduce ourselves, let's talk about our training objectives. The objectives of tonight really is to understand social identity, as Dili was also mentioning, social identity theory and its relevance in the context of remote teams. We will also explore the challenges and dynamics specific to remote teams and their impact on collaborations. We will learn practical strategies for fostering a strong team identity, and in remote settings, we will, how it also enhance communications and trust building among remote team members. Promote collaborations and team building activities in virtual environments. develop conflict resolution strategies, and manage diversity with remote teams, understanding the role of leadership in creating a supportive team culture and reinforcing a shared team identity, create action plans for implementing the strategies learned in your remote teams. That's pretty much our plan for tonight. And we will then go from there. Now, we did our agenda here. We'll talk about understanding the theory. This is our agenda here. Challenges and dynamic of remote teams, building a shared team identity, communication and trust building, collaboration and team building, overcoming challenges and conflict resolution, leadership role, fostering strong team identity, action planning, and next steps. Then at the end, we'll do the Q&A and closing. We will also at the end engage in discussions, activity and cases, maybe studies, why not, through the training to reinforce the concept and encourage active participation. I encourage you at least to ask questions if you want to understand something clearly, or share your experience too, and actively engage with the content. So let's dive into what I have prepared for us tonight as we go. So let's first understanding the main thing here is to understand what social identity theory is, and that's what I've been mostly writing and researching on. The social identity theory is highly relevant and important in the context of remote teams, as it addresses the unique challenges and dynamics that arise dispersed work environments. Now, here are several key reasons why the theory is significant. Identity and belongingness. Okay, why is he asking me to upgrade? Why is he asking me to upgrade right now? Don't ask me to upgrade right now. Okay, let me go back to it. Team cohesion. Building and maintain team cohesion can be challenging in remote settings. The social identity theory provide strategies for fostering a shared team identity, which can enhance team cohesion when team members identify with feel strong, sense of belonging to their team. They are more likely to collaborate, support one another, and work towards shared goals. So that team cohesion is really important in that sense. Trust and communication. Now, trust is vital for effective collaboration in remote teams. When you trust someone in the remote settings, in the remote teams, trust is really, really important. It helps a lot. The social identity theory recognizes that trust is influenced by shared identity and common group goals. By emphasizing shared values, goals, and sense of belonging, the theory provides a framework for building trust and improving communication among team members, leading to a stronger relationship and more effective collaboration. Conflict resolution also is inevitable, so you can't really avoid that in any teams, because there's always problems. We always have problems that we need to solve, including in remote teams. Even though when we're working during the pandemic, we still saw problems that needed to be solved. So the social identity theory helps remote teams address conflict by focusing on the shared team identity and common goals, by reminding teams that members of their shared interest, and encouraging them to work through disputes while maintaining their collective identity. The theory provides a framework for resolving conflicts constructively and minimizing the negative impact on the team dynamic. Performance and productivity. Now, research has shown that strong sense of identity and belongingness positively impacts team performance and productivity. Organization can enhance collaboration, strengthen relationship, and also improve team performance by applying the social identity theory in remote teams. Leadership and team culture. The social identity theory highlight the role of leadership in promoting a shared team identity and fostering a positive team culture. Remote team leaders can leverage the theory principle to create an inclusive environment, establish a clear team's norm, and reinforce the team's shared identity, ultimately driving team success. So this is mainly the role of a leader. You know, in this case, you know, leadership is really important when it comes to you know, remote work as well. It's really important everywhere, but in any environment, but especially here. And the social identity theory highlights that importance and that role. Definition and key concept, as I was mentioning earlier, of the social identity theory. Now, the social identity theory developed by social psychologists Henry Tajfel and John Turner in the 70s seeks to explain how individuals develop a sense of self-based on their membership in social groups, and how this group membership influence their attitude, behavior, and interactions with others. The theory positives, the theory posits that individuals strive to achieve and maintain a positive social identity by associating themselves with groups that they perceive as favorable or meaningful. According to Naomi Elements from Britannica, social identity theory, in social psychology, the study of interplay between personal and social identity. Social identity theory aims to specify and predict the circumstances under which individuals think of themselves as individual or as a group members. The theory also considers the consequences of personal and social identity for individual perceptions and group behavior. Now, the key concept of social identity theory are social categorization. Individuals naturally categorize themselves and others into social group based on shared characteristic, right? Individual, like this is even just innocently they do that, such as nationality, profession. You know, when we journalists, we go somewhere, we're like, oh, journalists, oh, that's like us, that's our group. You feel like you're part of that group. When you go, oh my God, yeah, this guy's Malian, okay, I belong there. You know, this guy's Congolese, whoa, that's me. That's, hey, what's up, Bunny? And then you speak in your language, right? So we always categorize ourselves like that. Or organization affiliation, right? We work for USGSAGM or VOA. We feel like a big one family. So this categorization helps people establish their social identity and define their sense of self. Social identification too. Once individuals have categorized themselves as belonging to a particular group, they strive to adopt the group's norm, values, and behavior as part of their self-concept. This identification process is crucial for maintaining a positive social identity and sense of belonging. Social comparison here. People evaluate the group positively in comparison of other groups, right? Individuals enhance their self-esteem and further strengthen their social identity by perceiving the group as superior or more favorable. In-group favoritism. Individuals tend to favor members of their group over out-group members. Now, this favoritism can lead to biased perception, attitude, and behavior that prioritize the well-being of interest of the in-group. Intergroup bias. Intergroup bias refers to or means the tendency to perceive and treat out group members less favorable than members of one group. The bias can lead to prejudice, discrimination, and negative attitude toward other group members. Now, how the social identity theory relates to remote team collaboration. This is my favorite part. We talked about theory, social identity theory, which is what we just went over. How does it relate to remote team collaboration? How do we bring those things together? Now, in remote team collaboration, the social identity provide valuable insight and strategies of building cohesive and collaborative team. And here's how the theory relates to remotes. Now, the way it relates is shared identity and belongingness. Remote teams, as we saw during the pandemic, often face challenges establishing a shared sense of identity and belongingness due to physical separation, because we are not there in the same location. We work in a different location. The theory emphasized that the importance of developing a shared team identity where team members perceive themselves as part of the cohesive unit, fostering, I apologize, I'm going to turn this thing out. Let me make sure I turn this off. Okay. So building this cohesive, I think that's Jeannie. She's trying to reach us. Let me try to see. Hello, Jeannie. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna say, join us in this group if you can. I'm teaching a class with Dilly and Filma. Please.
I see that there's less than a minute left on the
All right.
clock.
Thank you
Yes,
for reminding me.
let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see what
I
happened
have
from
to
there.
create a
Yes,
new
yeah.
link.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for reminding me that. Thank you. Yeah, let's see what happened. If it goes the way Filman was saying, to really detail, but these guys here had written before about this. Mirbabe et al. Also with other, they wrote in 2020 and colleague, they explore understanding collaboration with virtual assistants, right? They wrote that in. It's really interesting piece as well, because they study provide new insight regarding social identity theory and the concept of the extent self in context of virtual collaboration. At NEVA and Bywood in 2013 in their study, social media and primary health care opportunities to enhance education, communication, and collaboration among professional and rural remote. They also mention and show the vital role of social media in primary health care. Also talk about in the same sense, Xiu et al. Also and colleagues, they conducted the study improving effectiveness of virtual teams, how virtual teams can effectively work and improve their way of working. Another great piece to read. The study really aimed to investigate the dialogue technique that facilitate the building and share understanding in virtual teams. That also show how that can be enhanced as well. Mayfield and Valenti in the research and team satisfaction, identity, and trust, a comparison of face-to-face and individual student teams. They explore differences in experiences and attitude of students assigned to student teams in online versus face-to-face courses. And it's also interesting to see what they actually came up with. Discussion on the unique challenges faced by remotes, identify common dynamic that impact remote team collaboration, recognizing the importance of addressing these challenges is really important, and building a shared team identity. Now here, we need to understand that successful remote team collaboration requires several essential elements. Here are some of the elements that we found. Effective communication is a must. You must have effective communication. Challenge, remote teams face communication barriers, right? Due to physical distance, we were talking about it earlier, and resilience and technologies, misinterpretation. When you're not there in person, you say something, it might be received differently. Delay sometime, remember when we write email, sometimes it doesn't get there on time and the person doesn't get that communication. And, so that lack of nonverbal cues can also hinder effective communication. That's a challenge. So, you have to establish here the main things here. You have to establish clear communication channels, and there's different way of doing that. There's also challenge of building trust and strong relationship that can be challenging in remote and teams, as there are few opportunities to face-to-face interaction and social bonding, right? So the essential element here are foster trust through open and transparent communication, reliability, and consistent commitment to follow through, to encourage also virtual team building activities to, that's really important. Goal clarity and alignment. Challenges here: remote teams may need help align their goals and ensure everyone works toward a common purpose due to physical separation and lack of visibility into individuals. Essential here: clarity, defined team goals, establish individual roles and responsibility, and communicate expectation effectively. This is really important. There's also collaboration and knowledge sharing. The challenge here is collaboration and knowledge sharing can be improved by the presence of spontaneous interactions and share physical spaces. The essential element here, for instance, to encourage regular team discussions, virtual brainstorming sessions, and knowledge sharing practices. The autonomy and self-management. Challenge here is the remote teams often require high level of self-motivation, right, and self-management due to the need for more direct supervision and consistent oversight. So the autonomy and self-management here, it's really important. Some of the essential element here are foster autonomy by providing clear expectation, goals, and deadlines. The technology and infrastructure also is really important. The challenge here: remote teams heavily rely, as we all know, right, on technology and infrastructure and technical issues. So many of us have gone through that, or inadequate tools can disrupt collaborations and productivity. We've seen it with our colleagues that phone doesn't work, they cannot reach this, team is having problems, whatever. Essential element here: make sure to ensure that, reliable and efficient technology infrastructure, including high-speed internet, communication tools, have different way of communicating, project management software, like we do have some of them, and security measures to make sure you provide, and also the training is important. Cultural awareness and inclusivity. Challenges: the remote teams often consist of the member from different cultural background, time zone, and working norms, leading to potential misunderstanding and misalignments, especially when we work in a different from across the continents, that can create problem. Essential element here: foster cultural awareness and inclusive by providing open mindedness, respect, and diversity and sensitivity to culture differences. Now, let's explain how the social identity theory can address this challenging and enhance collaboration. Now, strategies to foster of a shared sense of identity belonging. There's a social identity theory provide valuable insight, as I was mentioning earlier, and strategy for addressing the challenges faced by remote teams and enhance collaboration through fostering a shared sense of identity and belongingness. And here's some of the methods that we have found. Establish a shared team identity to encourage team members to identify with the team by emphasizing the collective goal, value, and mission. Once we know the mission, we know the collective goals, we'll be good. Create a clear and inclusive team norms. To establish clear team norms and guidelines that promote inclusivity, respect, and open communication. When we have that and everybody feel inclusive, nobody feel left out, and everybody feel respected, and we have open communication, that will help also foster a shared sense of identity and somebody feel, I belong to this team and I feel comfortable. We have to encourage open and transparent communication, facilitate a regular team communication, and provide platform for team members to share idea, concern, and updates, and feel like they're working in that environment where they can provide all of that. Encourage open and respectful dialogue allowing team members to express themselves and collaborate effectively. To promote collaboration and cooperation, also important. To celebrate diversity and leverage, especially for us who work in a very international place, very important. To encourage virtual team building is also really help. To organize some of the virtual team building also will help. Provide recognition and feedback, regularly recognize and appreciate individuals and team achievement. This is really important. people feel belonged into a group like that, where they're recognized and they appreciate it. And when they are provided constructive feedback without putting them down, to help team members grow and improve, to reinforce their sense of belonging and contribution. Respectfully, though, that will always help. Support professional development and growth. Now, often opportunity for skill development and growth, such as virtual training sessions, workshop, and mentoring programs. These will, help people understand that they belong to this kind of organization, and they can trust this organization because you care about the professional development and growth. It's really good. It's really important to invest in professional development of team members and reinforce their sense of value, contribution. Very, very important. Sometimes we see in different organizations, sometimes they don't support professional development. They don't help the employees. That can also cause problems. Right here, we have this section. Just explore quickly the strategy of foster shared team identity and in a remote settings, and discuss the importance establishing team goals, value, and sense of purpose. Additionally, we will delve into communication. Now, here, fostering a shared team identity is really important. By that, by encouraging team members to actively participate in defining the team identity, by involving team in establishing team goals, as we were mentioning, establishing team goals, value, as I just mentioned, also, and sense of purpose. Communicate the team goals, objective, and performance expectation to ensure everyone is aligned and working toward common purpose. If somebody's not really understanding where the vision of the company, of the team is going, we are losing someone on the way, and that can cause problem. Encouraging team members to identify with the team and objectives, to promote that sense of pride. When somebody feels proud and the ownership that I belong here, by highlighting individuals' contribution to the team's success. This is also important. Communication and trust building. We can't say it enough. Communication is extremely important. Establishing a clear and transparent communication channels, such as video conference, chat platforms, and project management tools, to facilitate effective and timely communication with the team. Very, very important. Now, here, let's get to right here. Okay, collaboration, and I'll go quickly on this one. Is this one what we just did? Let's see. Okay, this one. All right, so we'll talk about communication. Now, here we're going to talk about how to enhance communication in remote teams, promoting open dialogue and active listening. We were talking about it earlier, how it's really important to communicate. The strategies for building trust among remote team members, collaboration, and team building. Now, I was talking about communication, enhanced communication in remote teams. You have to facilitate a regular and effective communication. We have to use various communication channels, such as video conference, instant messaging platform, and email. So just don't have that one form. You have to have so many forms that you can use to use that communication. Encourage video conference whenever possible to enhance face-to-face interaction and nonverbal communication cues. Really help. Promoting open dialogue and active listening. Create a safe and inclusive, again, that word is coming back, inclusive environment where team members feel comfortable expressing their ideas, concerns, and opinion. Not someone who comes to a meeting say, you know what, I'm not saying anything today. That is not encouraged. If that is not encouraged, then that creates a problem. If somebody start coming to a meeting like, you know what, I'm not saying anything today, we have a problem. Encouraging active participation and respectful discussion during virtual meetings and brainstorm session. Strategies for building trust among remote team members. Establish clear expectations and role within the team to build trust and accountability. Encourage transparency by sharing information, updates. Don't be keeping information for yourself. Share it. And decisions, and all of this openly with the team, so everybody knows what's going on. Collaboration and team building. Utilize collaboration tools and platforms that enable remote teams members to work together on projects and tasks. Assign team members to functional projects to encourage collaboration and knowledge sharing. Very, very important for collaboration and team building. Let's move to the next. I'll move to the next slide here. Encouraging collaboration, knowledge sharing in remote team. Establish collaboration norms. Very important to define expectation for our collaboration with the team, including regular updates, information sharing, and contribution to share projects. Encourage a culture of collaboration by recognizing and rewarding collaborative effort and achievements. Very, very important. Utilize collaboration tool. We talked about it, to leverage technology. This is where it's good to leverage technologies here and tools that enable remote team members to collaborate effectively, such as project management software. You know, we've seen Teams, you know, all those kind of, Zoom sometimes help too. And, you know, there's also virtual whiteboards, different ones. Assign collaborative projects. Here, assign team members to collaborate on specific projects or tasks to promote cross-functional collaboration and knowledge sharing, to encourage team members to share their expertise, insight, and the best practices with others, fostering a culture of learning and collaboration, all of that with respect. Virtual building activities to foster connection, camaraderie, very good things. And sometimes you don't see those things at different workplace or different teams. Icebreaker activities, you know, conduct a virtual icebreaker activities, start a team meeting with the workshop to build reports and create sense of connection, you know, a little laugh here, a little laugh there, and whatever. That really breaks the ice and people feel comfortable. An example here, truth and lie, virtual scavenger hunt, like some people do use it. A show and tell session, some people use those to break the ice, always help. Virtual social event, organize virtual social events, such as virtual team lunches, happy hour, or game night, to allow team members to interact informally and build relationship. That also help. Team challenges and competitions. Engage a team in a virtual team challenges, a competition that require collaboration and teamwork. Example include online trivia games, escape challenges, or problem solving. Leveraging technology to facilitate collaboration engagement, video conference, I was talking about earlier, to use it, virtual collaboration platform. We also talked about, you know, briefly about Teams, Microsoft Teams. And so like you guys know. Now, overcoming the challenges and conflict resolution, proactive communication to overcoming those. Proactive communication to encourage, again, communications coming back. Encouraging the team members to proactively address potential conflict or challenges through open and respectful communication. Mediation and facilitation also is part of the conflict resolution. If conflict arises, provide mediation or facilitation to help team members to resolve their differences. Someone who can come in the middle, try to help out, ease the conflict. Encourage problem-solving approach and ensure all team members feel heard and understood during the resolution process. To promote inclusivity and respect, foster a culture of inclusivity and respect by promoting open-mindedness and valuing diverse perspective. Very good. Also important to set clear expectations for respectful and constructive communication with team by encouraging collaboration, leveraging technology, again, organizing also virtual team building activities and addressing conflict, you know, conflict proactively, remote teams, and can also foster collaborative and inclusive culture, overcome challenges, and enhance team dynamic and performance. Very, very important. Address the conflict and challenges in remote teams. So we talked about that. Looks like, yeah, looks like I already talked about this. All right. So highlight the importance of leadership in remote team collaboration. This is probably one of the slides that I like the most. Setting directions and visions is keys for leaders. Leaders, they play, as we all know, a critical role in setting clear goals, objectives, and compelling vision for the remote team. They communicate the team purpose and align it with its reaching mission, right? By providing also a clear direction, leaders ensure remote team members work toward common objectives. So they have the big chunk of the job by setting up that, setting up the whole expectations, and if I should say that way. Establishing communication channels, again, it's their work. It's the duty to to establish and maintain open lines of communication with remote team members. They leverage technology and platform to facilitate seamless communication and collaborations. Regular check-in, virtual teams meetings, and one-on-one interactions enable leaders to stay connected and provide support. Building trust and psychological safety. Leaders foster trust by being reliable, transparent, and consistent in their action and communication. If a leader says something to this team member, say something else to the other one, and it's really not consistent, that can create problems. They create a safe environment where remote team members feel comfortable sharing their idea, concerns, and challenges. Leaders promote psychological safety by encouraging innovation, risk-taking, and open dialogue with the team. Providing support and resources is their duty as leaders to ensure remote team members have the resources, tool, and training to perform their role effectively. Okay, I don't want to get right now, sir. They offer support and guidance addressing any challenges and obstacles that team members may face. Leaders actively seek feedback from team members and provide timely assistance and mentorship needed. Empower and motivating remote team members. Leaders empower remote team members by delegating responsibility and granting autonomy. They provide opportunities for growth, skill development, and career advancement. Recognizing and acknowledging the contribution and achievement of remote team members boost motivation and engagement. Leadership strategy to support team identity and create positive team culture. Lead by example. We all heard that. They should embody the team's values, behavior, and work ethic. Foster collaboration, communication. That comes back again and again. It's there that the teams are to encourage that open dialogue, as we mentioned. Promote recognition, celebration. Of course, keep promoting team members. Recognize those team members will make you as a leader respected and trusted. Show that you have to appreciate remote team members' effort contribution. Support work-life balance. Leaders promote work-life balance and advocate for well-being of remote team members. They encourage self-care practice and offer flexibility when possible. Empowering and motivating remote team members. Provide autonomy. Leaders trust remote team members to make decisions and take ownership of their work. When you trust the team members, it helps. Foster growth and development. Leaders invest in professional development, as we were mentioning earlier. Action planning, next step, reflect on the training content and insight gain. So that's really important. Develop action plans and implementing strategy, discussion, remote team. Identify also specific step timely applying to strategy to enhance team collaboration. These are all the things that leaders must do. Reflecting on team content inside. Now let's take a few moments to just reflect on the training contents that we just went to. You guys kind of heard me for going through this past hour. Consider the key concept, strategy, and example discuss. How do they relate to your own remote team context? What resonates with you the most? So if you can, I'm just going to ask you guys, if you just have a piece of paper, if you can just write things down, or write, if you want to, you can, if you want to write on a piece of paper, or if you want to write on our chat, it's up to you. If you do write it on the piece of paper or on the computer, you can send it to me later on. You can email it to me. But here, just the question is pretty much, how did this relate, what we just went through, right? How in any shape or form this relates to your work? What resonates with you the most? What caught your ear here? That's like, wow, that's really cool. So if you can write this down. Go ahead,
Okay.
Didier, if you want to say something, Didier.
I thought we were going to tell you, but I can write it as well. whichever
You
you
can,
prefer.
you actually say it. That's fine. Actually, that's better. You're right. Let's say it. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, go ahead, delete. That's better because it's better to stay on the video.
Okay, so what actually resonates the most with me is trust and safety in a group in a remote setting. Because from personal experience, I remember that it was difficult to participate to meetings, and we, as journalists, we have editorial meetings every morning, and that you cannot avoid. So, you know, feeling safe in a group setting, and particularly in a remote, like you said, you can't see the people usually. Like in our case, our service culture is not to put the video on, which is fine because it's very early in the meeting. But it means that you cannot see people, you cannot see like their facial expressions, so you might interpret something in a different way. So feeling safe is definitely important. Like if you're one of your leaders tell you you have to participate, I mean, I'm not talking about myself specifically, but to the group, you guys have to participate, you guys have to participate. And one day you decide to participate, but then you give your idea and then it's just like brushed aside. Not because it's a good or a bad idea, but because actually your leader or one of the leaders already had their mind set on something, you know. You just create an environment where you feel like, oh, okay, it is useless actually to talk here, you know, because
Oh yeah.
whatever
Oh
I
yeah.
say, it's not gonna be received, you know. So hearing someone is very important, and that also is a segue to the fact that you said the role of leaders is very, very important in building, you know, a safe environment, an environment in which people will want to talk. So yeah, this entire course resonates with me a lot.
Because I keep seeing watching your head, keep shaking your head. You're like, whoa, yeah. I keep watching you the whole time. You're shaking your head. I'm like, Gilly's feeling this.
Yeah, I was feeling it because like
Gilly's
we've
feeling this.
been through that.
Yeah.
We've been through that. And what I'm happy about this year, particularly because it has been what, like 3 years since the pandemic. The first 2 years were very complicated because we're like virtual practically 90% or sometimes 100%. And now you get the opportunity, if you choose to be like to do the virtual meeting like at home, or you want to join at the office, you have the choice now. And I find myself going to the actual meeting, you know, with people, like half of the team sitting there at the meeting. So yeah. I guess with that remote experience, you just figure out what you prefer, and
But you
that's
also
the
you also mentioned something important, Gilly, when you say when you sometimes you're in a meeting and you're trying to give an idea or something like that, and somebody cut you off. And we talk about inclusivity here. That doesn't sound like it's inclusive, if you know, right?
You know, I think there's one point that it's not inclusive to
Yeah.
answer your question,
Yeah.
but also one point that's important when you said like we have very diverse groups, you know.
Correct. Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
be cultural differences, you know,
Nationalities,
it
you
could
know,
be anything,
any
nationalities, but gender also is very important.
gender is also important. Yeah.
Gender is very
Of
important.
course. Of course.
You know, if you're at a meeting and there are like 20 people and you're the only woman sitting, like it's difficult to have your voice heard, you know. Yeah,
If it's
which
difficult,
actually happened to me a lot.
if something like that happened to you, but you know, and in a general term, what's the next step? What do you do?
I
Or
noticed
what have you
continuing
done in a case
talking,
like that?
because
Yeah.
usually when you're a woman and you try to say something, when you have 10 other guys at the table with you, you say something and people pretend they did not hear you, or maybe they did not hear it. It's not pretending, but just, you know, like a social behavior maybe. You have to say it again. And you don't have to say it loudly. You just use the exact same tone that you used, but you keep saying it. you can say it again a third time. So they have no choice but to hear you, because
Mm.
you actually have been trying to get your voice heard, you know, without getting upset or anything, without starting to talk loud. Yeah. So I guess for me, this is what works. Or just saying, oh, I'm trying to say something actually.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow. Firma, do you want to add something?
Yes, yes. I mean, everything we went over just bring me to a question about policy. You know that workplace, like we all know that workplace are subject to policy guidelines. So let me give an example. When like we work in the building, the current building, at the Voice of America, let's say, uh, I'm producing a show and I can't find I can't find like an audio that TV is supposed to record. So what we usually do, just like to go to work to a desk and to ask her, you see, and very
Yeah. So
okay, Roger,
sorry,
my
Firma, we
question
got cut off. Yeah, Firma. So you were telling us.
so sorry,
That's okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, Roger, my question was,
Mm.
I was telling that when we're working in person, like in the case of the VOA,
Right.
in person in the current building, when I have a problem, like as being a producer, I have a problem, I can't, let's say, found an audio that GD is supposed to record. So what we usually do is to walk to the person's desk and to ask the person. So it's easy. Now, when we are working remotely, it takes another action to solve like the same kind of problem.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
probably find myself calling Dilly on her phone, calling her,
Right.
and to ask her about the file, the missing file. And this happened to me, you know, a lot of time working on an overtime shift as producer, working in
Right.
person, while my colleague are home or some working remotely.
Remotely.
And when
Yeah.
I have the same problem, I find myself sometimes calling people like around 9 p.m., 8 p.m., sometimes 10 p.m. So it's kind of taking me, you know, out of what the policy normally allow me to do. So now that working remotely, it's becoming more common. Are policy going to be updated? This is my question. Are policy going to be updated like to fit the way to work? So, you know, this is the
That's
point.
right. And so the policy is going to be updated, right? In that sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a question.
Oh, it's still a
Although,
question. So
yeah,
you're asking if the policy is going to be updated.
exactly.
Right. Dilly, what do you think?
I missed a little bit. So I heard what the question that Firman was asking in the beginning and the end. So can you guys
Okay,
tell me what the middle was?
Yeah.
It was that situation like versus like working remotely. You know, when we working in person in the building, I can just walk to your desk to ask you, Billy, you know, I'm missing like this or that file or audio, and you do it for me. Now, when we're on a remote, when we working remotely, it takes me another action like to solve the same problem. I will probably be calling you. I don't know the time, like calling you anytime.
Anytime it
Ask
can be
you
late.
about it.
Yeah.
And so for myself, I feel that this like it's taking us, you know, out of what the policy allow us to do, our policy, our regular policy. So I was asking Roger, are policies now that now they working remotely, it's becoming more common. So our policy also will be updated to fit the kind of, to fit the mode of
I think
work.
definitely, actually, the policies, these theories, everything will be updated with time because people are
Yeah,
changing, the way we work changes, the
Mm.
challenges are not always the same, new
yeah,
technology appears. So definitely policies are also bound to change.
yeah.
So things will definitely change in that sense. Yeah, exactly. So let me just summarize here because I know Delia, so we have to let her go quickly. Let me just
Mm.
summarize here quickly. Before we conclude, let's just summarize the key takeaways of today training and fostering identity. So the social identity, as we mentioned, identified theory highlighted the importance of fostering a shared team identity and belongingness as we spoke, promoting team cohesion. We talked about that. Remote teams face a unique challenges and dynamic that requires a deliberate effort to overcome, foster collective collaboration, effective communication, as we mentioned, active listening and trust building are essential for remote collaboration.
Active listening.
Active listening, but I like that.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was saying,
Yeah,
yeah.
I kind of like when you're pointing that. Why that active listening? I feel like you've come.
Because sometimes you are asked to share your opinion or to pitch in, and
Yeah,
then there's no real listening.
yeah,
You say it, but your boss or your team leader already has an opinion and only
Mm,
goes with his opinion.
mm,
You might suggest something fantastic, but
yeah.
you know,
And then
it
and then that would probably make the next time
yes,
you
it's the
want to feel like,
listening part actually.
yeah.
And I think having these theories is
Mm,
very good. But
mm,
for leaders, I know leaders are taught these
yeah.
theories that they have to implement them.
Mm,
Sometimes they say what they know they have to say, like,
mm,
"Oh,
mm,
guys, feel free to talk, feel
mm,
free to say this, feel free
mm,
to pitch in."
mm, mm,
They say it because it's part of their job and they've
mm,
been
mm,
told
mm,
that
mm,
they have
mm,
to
mm,
say it.
mm, mm.
But actually, after saying it, they don't execute it because they don't actually really listen to you or they don't take into account what has been said.
mhm,
And that's detrimental.
Mm,
So, how to push forward to make, you know, not to be at the stage of a theory, but to really implement
mm,
those things.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
To be more practical.
That's for
You make a
all
good
those
leader. You
people
make a
who
good leader.
actually
You make a good leader,
yeah.
Lily. Yeah, Abdul will make a good
Of
leader, man.
course,
I wish you're my boss. You know, I wish you're my
of
boss, man.
course.
Yeah. I'm
She might,
telling
she might be the next seller.
I'm telling you, man, she might be
Yeah.
the next Amanda Bennett. Are you kidding me? She deserve that. That's
The next
more.
Amanda.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so building and share team identity. We also talk about leaders playing a crucial role to implement strategies. We talk about collaboration, virtual team building activities. We talk about conflict resolution, promoting, and all those things. These are great takeaway from this. So now I would like to just open the floor for any question. Firman will start asking question. Feel free to ask if you need me to clarify anything or you want to understand anything more. I can provide more information. But most likely, let me come back to, I started thanking you at the beginning. Let me most likely here again. Thank you so much for your active participation, listening, and engagement through this training program. And I hope that you have found valuable, and applicable to your remote team collaboration efforts, what we went through here, fostering a strong
yeah,
team identity and enhancing collaboration takes and consistent effort, but mostly rewards that we all can, that's worth it. So I want to thank you so much and best luck on implementing the strategy we discussed and look forward to hearing about your progress and discusses. So if any question before I move on?
No, just a comment
Yeah, please.
before we end the session.
Yeah.
When you arrived at slide 13, you said it's actually your favorite.
Yeah.
But when we're at slide 11, I
Mm.
do like slide 13. But
Mm.
when we're at 11, I was thinking exactly the same thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really like slide 11. Because
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
you really have nuggets and, like tools
Yes.
to apply this. So yeah,
Right.
you have like something powerful between 10
Oh, thank
and
you.
14th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw when I was actually going through that, I saw you start really smiling. You like felt it. You like, I saw like, Dilly's feeling this slide is speaking. Uh, I'm telling you. Firma, do you have any question, any comments?
No question. I got a lot of notes here, a lot of information
Thank you.
from everything. So yeah, thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thanks
I
so much.
really-
I'll forward you
I
also.
learned a lot. Yeah.
I'll send you guys this training. I'll email you guys this training so you can
Yeah.
just have it also as well. But again, I'm sincerely like want to express my appreciation and for your active participation engagement through this training session, and just see you guys be enthusiasm and willingness to learn and apply these concepts are really commendable. I thank you for that. As we move forward, just remember that building a strong team identity and enhancing collaboration in remote teams in an ongoing process it's an ongoing process that continues effort and adaptation. So please evaluate this training session by providing feedback on effectiveness, relevance, and suggestion of improvements. That's why I'll send you the PowerPoint. Your feedback will help me, enhance future training programs that I'll be giving in the next classes. Again, thank you for participating and dedication, providing remote team collaboration. I wish you all the best as you apply this strategy. Dilly and Firma, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll send you. I appreciate you guys.
Good luck with your studies, and we
Thank
know
you.
you are in Kinshasa for work, so good luck.
That's right. That's right. Thank
We
you so
have
much,
to
guys.
go for that.
I appreciate it. It's
All right, take
it's
care.
one it's one
Bye.
1:15 a.m. here. So yeah.
Oh wow.
I am
Bye,
going to bed.
guys.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
guys. Thank you.